Aha, you hear the music. Hello, everybody. I'm Ed Robinson, and welcome to the season premiere of the League Wraparound. This is the program that gets you caught up on anything and everything happening around the National Football League. Coming up on this edition of the program, we'll preview Week 1 of the 2024 NFL season. We'll have your Week 1 game picks and so much more. So sit back, relax, enjoy the program. And as always, once again, thank you so much for tuning in to the season premiere of the program. I want to start off with my top three storylines. I want to start off talking about quarterbacks. The 2024 NFL draft had a multitude of quarterbacks that were drafted in the first round. Caleb Williams going to the Chicago Bears. Jaden Daniels going to the Washington Commanders. Drake May going to the New England Patriots. Michael Penix Jr. going to the Atlanta Falcons. J.J. McCarthy selected by the Minnesota Vikings. Bo Nix selected by the Denver Broncos. So that's a lot of quarterback talent in the first round of this year's NFL draft. And first off, we know that the New England Patriots will not start They will not start Drake May. Instead, they're going to go with the experienced veteran in Jacoby Brissett, rightfully so. First-year head coach Gerard Mayo wanted to make the decision to put Brissett in. Veteran leadership. He knows the system pretty well, very familiar with New England, being a part of several Super Bowl teams. He knows what it's all about. But Drake May, if you watch that last preseason game with New England and Washington, you could see some signs that he's, picking up a little bit. But Patriots felt, particularly Coach Gerard Mayo, felt like Jacoby Brissett was the best person for the job. Now, Michael Penix Jr., again, similar situation in New England. Penix, drafted by the Falcons, will he get his opportunity to start? He will eventually. But the Falcons made a big move during the offseason, signing Kirk Cousins to a contract. Kirk Cousins, who knows what his future is going to be? Who knows what's going to hold for him this year? Coming off of an ACL injury, his offensive line is expected to be better in Atlanta. We'll see how that all plays out. But for right now, the future appears to look bright for Michael Penix Jr. in Atlanta. So we have Drake May won't be starting Week 1. May not start this year. Who knows what's happening? The NFL is a long season. Penix Jr. is going to be the backup to Cousins. J.J. McCarthy. J.J. will not be starting. Matter of fact, he's done for the year after having a meniscus tear in his knee. So Sam Darnold will start for the Vikings, will be the starting quarterback for this season. So if you know about Sam Darnold, was decent with the Jets. He made the comment, said that he couldn't remember anything. He started seeing ghosts. I don't know what that was all about, but after some time with the Jets, Darnold had a run with the Carolina Panthers, then also was with the 49ers for a short period of time, and now he becomes the starter this year for the Vikings. I think the future is going to be bright for J.J. McCarthy as well. I think with McCarthy not starting and he's going to sit behind Darnold this year. He may sit behind him again next year. Who knows what's going to happen? The NFL doesn't just stand for the National Football League. It also stands for not for long. But McCarthy will have his chances to be a quality and effective starter in the NFL. Let's move over to the Denver Broncos now. Bo Nix is the quarterback for the Broncos. This is year 2 of the Sean Payton era in Denver. The Russell Wilson experiment didn't work out last year. Coach Payton appears to have his guy, and rightfully so. Bo Nix, he dazzled in the preseason. If you look at him in an athletic version of Drew Brees, so to speak, kind of the same throwing motion, similar skills. It's just that Nix is taller and more athletic. And I think Sean Payton feels that he hit the lottery with drafting Bo Nix as a quarterback. So we'll see how this plays out. But I know year 2 in the Sean Payton era, he's definitely going to be confident with his rookie quarterback in Bo Nix. Caleb Williams. Everybody is going to be watching the Chicago Bears and specifically Caleb Williams. 2 years ago, won the Heisman Trophy. He dazzled at USC. Also, he dazzled for a period of time at the University of Oklahoma. This is a make-or-break year for the Chicago Bears. When you think of the Bears, you think of monsters of the Midway. You think of running game. You think of defense. You think of Walter Payton. You think of Dick Butkus. You think of Gale Sayers. You think of the 85 Bears, Mike Singletary, Steve McMichael, Dan Hampton, Richard Dent, and so on and so forth. When you think of quarterbacks with the Bears, a few names come to mind. Rex Grossman, Kyle Orton. Also, you think about Brian Griese, for a short period of time, Jay Cutler. And, of course, people think about Jim McMahon. But Caleb Williams is just something special, and it goes to show you that the Bears, this is a make-or-break year for all of the reasons that I'm going to mention. Ryan Poles, the general manager of the team, his job is on the line. He wants to get it right. Bears fans want to be there because they know that, you know, the teams are getting better in the NFC. I mean, it's still pretty wide open in the NFC, but the Bears know that this is a chance for them to get back to dominance, right? Green Bay, they had a runaway year last year. Nobody expected what Jordan Love was going to do, but hey, the Packers, they're getting better. The Lions have gotten better. The J.J. McCarthy injury, I don't think that'll slow down the Vikings because you still have Jordan Jefferson and company. You still have a chance to win. But the Bears, they want to get back. They've suffered for quite a while now, and they want to get back to winning Chicago Bears football, not just with the running game and the defense, but with an electric quarterback like a Caleb Williams. And certainly fans in the Chi, they're excited, and it's an anticipation, and rightfully so, that you have a talent, an elite talent like Caleb Williams. And for the Washington Commanders, Jaden Daniels, a new era is now. Last year's Heisman Trophy winner out of LSU. I mean, we knew this was going to be a no-brainer that Jaden was going to be the Commanders' starting quarterback. The last year, we saw the Commanders' offense kind of be in a flux. Eric Bieniemy was the offensive coordinator. Sam Howell took over as the starting quarterback. There were some numbers, there were some flashes, but a lot of changes were made in the offseason. New head coach, Dan Quinn is in. Out goes Bieniemy. In comes Cliff Kingsbury. And if you know about Cliff Kingsbury's pedigree, right, being in college as an offensive coordinator, then being the head coach for a period of time with the Cardinals, and the Commanders just went through an overhaul on the coaching side. And Jaden Daniels, he's got a lot to work with, but I think he's really going to do well. And you've got Terry McLaurin, one of the best receivers in the league. You've added in an addition with Austin Eckler. Now the Commanders trading Jahan Dotson. We'll see how that plays out. I think Philadelphia won in on that trade, but Jaden is going to be really, really special. We talked about Caleb Williams in Chicago, but we need to talk about Jaden in the DMV. He's really going to shake up the atmosphere with the Commanders, and who knows, the Commanders may sneak up and get a playoff spot. It's pretty wide open in the NFC. It's really for the taking. I mean, yeah, San Francisco, Philadelphia, the Rams, but it's still, playoff spots are still wide open in the NFC, and Washington could get one, and it begins and ends with their hotshot rookie quarterback out of LSU named Jaden Daniels. My next storyline is going to be Aaron Rodgers. We know about Aaron, right? Listen, Aaron is a Super Bowl champion, 4-time league MVP. He's going to be a future Hall of Famer. No doubt in my mind. Last year, only, 6 or 7 snaps, and tears his Achilles, done for the year, and went through the rehab, went through the process, and again, typical off-season, Aaron not showing up at certain places, but didn't play in the preseason, but he's going to be ready to go for week 1. And this is going to be an interesting year for the Jets. And it begins and ends with Aaron Rodgers. I can't say number 12, more like number 8. It begins and ends with number 8. And it's interesting because, again, in the offseason with the Jets, Hassan Reddick was asking for a trade. He hasn't received it yet for the moment. He's still a member of the Jets. And it's going to be pressure galore. And Aaron Rodgers has got to deliver this year. Because if he does not, boy, there's going to be a whole lot of questions that need some answers. And right now, they have very few answers. Dealing with the New York Jets, there's always going to be a lot of questions and few answers. But Aaron has got to get it done this year. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Again, didn't play in the preseason. The Achilles, he's healthy. He's ready to go. Missed out on some key activities during the offseason. But we'll see. I mean, listen, Aaron Rodgers, one of my favorite players of all time, one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. And certainly, you know, he's got to get it done in year 2 with being a member of the Jets. And I know Jet fans, they're ready for this. They've been ready for this since September, since the injury had happened. So we'll see what happens, man. But this is going to be a make-or-break year for the Jets, not just for Rodgers, but even for management as well. Joe Douglas, his job could be on the line as well. I know Woody Johnson is watching him very carefully. So we'll see what Aaron Rodgers does in year 2 with the Jets, Jets. And for my last storyline is going to be the 2024 NFL season. So it's a new season with some teams have new coaches, new rosters, also new storylines. The Buffalo Bills, no more Stephon Diggs. He's with the Houston Texans. Josh Allen, what's going to happen with him? Who's going to be his new go-to guy or go-to guys? Sean McDermott, job on the hot seat. What's going to happen with McDermott going forward? Buffalo, again, that window is still open to win a Super Bowl, but it's slightly closing. What about the Miami Dolphins? Tua coming in slender. I don't know if it's a certain weight loss drug or not. We're not going to get into that, but he's coming much slimmer this year. Tyreek Hill, the interesting offseason. Will he be impacted? Will those offseason problems impact him on the field? We'll see. But the Dolphins, offensively, they're good. Mike McDaniel's got a contract extension. We'll see how it all plays out for him. Well, for him and his team, the Miami Dolphins. I mentioned earlier, the New York Jets, Aaron Rodgers. Year 2 for the Rodgers era in New York. Fans, they're antsy every year. Let's see if the Jets can get a playoff spot. Are the Super Bowl aspirations still high? Sure, they're high, but we'll see how it all plays out. The Jets made some additions. Let's see if they can hold up and keep number 8, keep them healthy for the most part, and see if they can turn it into success. The New England Patriots. Hey, New England going through growing pains. They drafted a rookie quarterback, but they're going to roll with Jacoby Brissett. We'll see how New England plays out on this one. Again, this is post-Belichick era, post-Brady era. We'll see how it all plays out. Also in the AFC, right, we've got the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson. You know Lamar's going to be Lamar. And you've got Derrick Henry, new addition to the team. We'll see what the Ravens are going to do. Also with Cincinnati, Joe Burrow. Joe coming back healthy, coming back from the wrist injury. Jamar Chase, that contract situation's real dicey. The Pittsburgh Steelers, Russell Wilson, a new home in Pittsburgh after not getting his chance in Denver. Justin Fields also he got his chance in Chicago, didn't succeed. Now is the backup in Pittsburgh. The Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson coming back from his shoulder injury. Didn't play in the preseason, but the high hopes are for Cleveland. Also in the AFC, C.J. Stroud. How will he do in his sophomore year? Will he be better than his rookie year? How about the Indianapolis Colts? Anthony Richardson. We'll see how it all plays out for him in year 2. The Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, got rewarded with a big contract extension. We'll see how the Jaguars move going forward. The Tennessee Titans, Will Levis, The quarterback, maybe Malik Willis may take over. Who knows what's going to happen with the Titans and now in the post-Derrick Henry era. The Denver Broncos, Sean Payton era. You got Bo Nix, the rookie quarterback, an athletic and a taller Drew Brees. I think this is what Sean Payton has been aiming for. Now let's see if it can translate into wins. The Las Vegas Raiders, Minshew Mania. Gardner Minshew's the quarterback. Devontae Adams, we'll see if he wants to stay with the Raiders in the long term, maybe with Minshew at the quarterback position. We'll see how that all plays out. The Los Angeles Chargers, new era with the Chargers. Jim Harbaugh, the new head coach, bringing life into that franchise. Justin Herbert, one of the best in the league. We know what Justin brings to the table. And the Kansas City Chiefs, two-time champions, the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, not going anywhere. They added a rookie with Xavier Worthy. This should be interesting. I mean, the Chiefs are locked and loaded, ready to go. Also, you've got Andy Reid, got an extension. He's not going anywhere, so the Chiefs are picking up right where they left off at. As far as the NFC is concerned, the Dallas Cowboys, listen, you know Dallas, the soap opera that never ends. Quarterback Dak Prescott, still no contract extension. This is going to be interesting how this plays out going forward. CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver, got his extension. And the New York Giants, they drafted Malik Neighbors, the rookie receiver out of LSU. The Giants, I think this is going to be another year of growing pains in the post-Saquon Barkley era. The Philadelphia Eagles, wow. Jalen Hurts, not going anywhere. Devontae Smith got a contract extension. A.J. Brown, not going anywhere. You acquire Saquon Barkley, man. And then you talking about recently in a trade with Washington, acquiring Jahan Dotson. That is huge. And the Eagles, I mean, Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie and Eagles management continuing to roll the dice, man. And they are just wheeling and dealing. And the Washington Commanders, a new era in Washington. Jaden Daniels. The future is so bright for him, and the expectations are extremely high with a new head coach, Dan Quinn, and you have a receiver, a veteran receiver with Terry McLaurin. Sky is definitely going to be the limit for the Washington Commanders. The Chicago Bears, new era for the Bears. Caleb Williams. Chicago fans, Bears fans worldwide, they are so excited because this is a new era in the Windy City, and Caleb is going to dazzle just like Jaden in Washington. What a magnificent year it was last year for the Detroit Lions. Detroit clicked on all cylinders, just short of reaching their chance to win the Lombardi. But Dan Campbell, he's not going anywhere. Quarterback Jared Goff got a contract extension. Jahmyr Gibbs is at the peak of his powers right now. And Amon-Ra St. Brown got a contract extension. Aiden Hutchinson is just hitting his peak. Detroit is going to be good for a while. The Green Bay Packers, Jordan Love. Who would have thought last year the Packers would be playing in the wild card game and almost beating San Francisco? That was an interesting game. And then, you know, the Packers, again, they're building their future around Jordan Love. And the Minnesota Vikings, J.J. McCarthy, done for the year. Sam Darnold's going to take over the reins this year. You've also got Aaron Jones playing for the Packers. Now he's going over to the Vikings. And, of course, Jordan Jefferson, he's not going anywhere. Jordan, one of the premier players and wide receivers in the league. The Atlanta Falcons, signing Kirk Cousins, coming off the ACL injury. How's that going to play out? But you've got Kyle Pitts and you've got Bijan Robinson. Very interesting young talent in Atlanta. Then, of course, you've got Michael Penix Jr. drafting him in the first round, who's going to be your backup. The Carolina Panthers, what can you say about Carolina, right? A dismal year last year. Bryce Young, the number one overall pick in last year's NFL draft, going through the motions, going through growing pains. And, you know, we'll see what Carolina I mean, they have a new head coach, Dave Canales, in his first year with Carolina. Was the offensive coordinator with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for quite a while, and hopefully he can be someone that will help out Bryce in all the right reasons. The New Orleans Saints, Dennis Allen, he's on the hot seat as well. This is year 3 in the Allen era in New Orleans. Derek Carr, we'll see what's going to happen with him. Spencer Rattler is the third string. Jake Hayner is the backup. Alvin Kamara, much of the offseason was with contract extensions. And however, they have a new offensive coordinator, Clint Kubiak, who was the passing game coordinator for the 49ers. So we'll see what happens with the Saints as far as their offense is concerned. Now, they do have wide receiver Chris Olave. Chris is going to be Chris. He's going to get his in. On the defensive side, Cam Jordan, not going anywhere, consistent. Demario Davis, he's consistent as well. Carl Granderson is expected to have a solid year as well. So the Saints could be one of those dark horses, not just in the NFC, but in the NFL as well. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, tough loss in the playoffs last year against the Detroit Lions. And, we'll see what happens as far as Baker is concerned. But Baker got the contract extension. Buccaneers, they've got a lot going for them this year. And we'll see what happens with them. I think the Bucs will be tough. The Bucs will give teams a lot of fits this year, not just in the NFC South, but just the NFL as a whole. Todd Bowles, a defensive specialist, he'll have his defenders ready to go for this season. The Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray. What's going to happen with Kyler? He's coming back from the injury. We'll see how it all plays out with him. Marvin Harrison Jr., high hopes for him this year. We'll see what Mr. Harrison Jr. can do. The L.A. Rams, the Rams with Puka Nacua. Also, you've got Kyron Williams and Matthew Stafford. Listen, Stafford is a quote-unquote older quarterback, but you know what? He's still getting it done, and then some. And then when you add Cooper Kupp to the mix as well, and then you have the rookie Blake Corum, sky's the limit, man. I mean, the Rams can still get it done, and they're going to have to get it done, especially now in the post-Aaron Donald era after Aaron announced his retirement suddenly, which shocked a lot of people. The Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks, they're going to be a dark horse this year, not just in the NFC, but in the NFL as well. Geno Smith got a contract extension, certainly surprised a lot of people last year. Geno getting a second wind. Kenneth Walker, the third, one of the rising stars in the league, a great running back. And then the receivers, you got Tyler Lockett and you got DK Metcalf. What more could you ask for, right? And defensive backs, Devin Witherspoon. Devin Witherspoon was in the top 5 in interceptions last year. I mean, Seattle's defense, just a beast. And then Pete Carroll. What's not to love about Pete Carroll, right? Seattle's going to be ready, more than ready, for action this year. And certainly they can spoil a lot of playoff hopes and maybe even some Super Bowl aspirations as well. And the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers fell short in last year's Super Bowl, losing in overtime. But the 49ers, you've always got to put them in there, right? You've always have to put them in the mix as well. I said that the Packers lost to the 49ers in the wild card game last year. I stand corrected. It was the divisional playoff game last year that the 49ers beat the Packers. Very good game, a very close game. It was 24-21. But, man, the 49ers, Brock Purdy, the contract extension, that's going to be coming up for him real soon. We know he's going to get his money. Brandon Ayuk got his deal, so Brandon's going to be solid as well. And, the 49ers, listen, a lot of things have happened to them lately with the whole Ricky Pearsall situation. Of course, if you haven't heard, Ricky was shot in the chest during a robbery attempt in a section of San Francisco. Someone tried to attempted to take his watch, and there was a whole tussle. But the great news is that Ricky is recovering, and he'll be back to practice real soon. But the 49ers, how can you not count them out? Not just with Brock Purdy, but Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel. You have George Kittle, Nick Bosa, Leonard Floyd, Javon Hargrave. You've got Fred Warner. They're going to be ready. I mean, those guys are going to be ready. Issues that I have are the Trent Williams situation. Trent wants his money. Trent is deserving of the contract, but he's holding out. So we'll see how this whole holdout situation plays out with the 49ers, how it's going to impact them, whether it be going into week 1 or maybe the rest of September or early October. Who knows how long this holdout is going to be. But, man, the 49ers, they're going to be solid. They're going to be really good this year. And I think they say they're an older team. I don't want to call them an older team. I'll just call them a team that's really in their prime. I mean, it begins and ends with McCaffrey. When McCaffrey gets going, everybody else gets going. McCaffrey is the engine that keeps that team running. And we'll see how it all plays out. But the 49ers shouldn't have to worry about them because they're clicking on all cylinders right now. The Ayuk contract is done. Now they just have to get the Trent Williams deal done, situation, and things of that nature. So, but the 49ers should be good for this season, pending that they can get the Trent Williams contract done and get that taken care of. Takes care of my top 3 storylines. All right, before we preview week 1, there's a situation for those of you that have been sleeping under a rock. For you DirecTV subscribers out there, for those of you that have DirecTV or a DirecTV stream, currently DirecTV is in a contract dispute with Walt Disney-owned channels. So as this show is currently airing, there's a contract dispute going on between DirecTV and Walt Disney-owned channels that includes the ESPN family of networks. That's ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, ESPN Plus, ACC Network, SEC Network, Longhorn Network, as well as other Disney properties like Disney Channel, Disney Plus, Disney Junior, Disney XD, and also the ABC network. So if you have DirecTV or DirecTV Stream, and also, too, it's affecting Uverse as well because Uverse customers do not have access currently to the ESPN family of networks or the Disney-owned channels, which is the ESPN family of networks and ABC. So for those of you that have DirecTV Stream, or Uverse, you cannot watch any ABC network programming. So if you have an ABC affiliate or an ABC station on your DirecTV or your DirecTV Stream or your Uverse, you will not be able to watch it. And fans, including myself, got hit with a rude awakening on Sunday at, I would say approximately 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Central Time, when DirecTV pulled the plug on all Walt Disney-owned channels, including ESPN and ABC, and it went in the dark. Everything went in the dark, and a lot of people on social media were frustrated and were not happy about this. And you got to understand, this is one of the busiest time in sports because we're coming off of the Labor Day weekend. The NFL season is getting underway, and you've had the U.S. Open tennis tournament in progress, and this is it's a shame. And you have to remember that no matter what happens in the situation, the subscribers never win. The subscribers always lose out because they could go up on your bill, or they may make you pay for something, a channel that you don't need. There's just all sorts of things that are going on. But to just give you kind of a recap or some information on what's going on, as this show is airing, there's an ongoing contract dispute between DirecTV and Walt Disney-owned channels. That includes your ESPN family of networks and all ABC stations. So if you're watching, say for instance, you have DirecTV or DirecTV Stream, or you have Uverse, and you're watching, you're unable to watch an ABC affiliate. You want to watch local programming or even watch network programming. You're unable to do so due to this current contract dispute. And we know that cable and satellite people still subscribe to it, but it's a slowly fading medium. So there's been reports about ESPN. They were supposed to launch a digital streaming platform this fall, but that's been delayed because of court cases and legal proceedings going on with Fubo TV. And then also, too, there's recent information coming out about the whole contract dispute between DirecTV and Disney, where they may want to make ESPN a part of a bundle with Disney Plus, and DirecTV is trying to offer flexibility and affordability and choices and options to their subscribers. But there's a lot going on. This happens every year. I believe last year Spectrum went through it, and then the following year it was Charter, and I think 1 year Dish Network went through it. So every year around this time, there's always some contract disputes going on with cable companies or satellite providers and networks and, broadcasting companies. But hopefully they can work this thing out. Hopefully they will have it on in enough time where football fans, not just college football fans, but NFL fans can enjoy the ESPN networks as well as ABC. So, and I heard there's for all you DirecTV subscribers out there, they're going to offer a $20 credit as a result of this whole contract dispute, this whole fiasco that's going on. So there's supposed to be a website that you can go on to find out how to get your $20 credit, but this happens every year. It's unfortunate, and this is one of the best times in sports right now. Between late August and February is when you have a lot of subscriptions go up, whether not just with streaming services, but even with cable and satellite providers. So that's the ongoing thing that's happening with DirecTV and Walt Disney-owned channels. All right, that takes care of that. So now it's time. Let's preview Week 1 of the 2024 NFL season. Monday Night Football, the New York Jets will square off against the San Francisco 49ers. So for the 49ers, it was a year filled with contract disputes. We had Brandon Ayuk all season long threatening to leave the team. The Pittsburgh Steelers were interested in getting him, but after months and months and months of contract disputes, they were able to work it out, and Brandon Ayuk gets the contract extension. So we've taken care of Brandon, but Trent Williams still has not reported to camp as this show is airing. And you need Trent Williams, one of the best offensive linemen in the league, one of the best offensive linemen in history, will be a future first ballot Hall of Famer. So while they have a contract dispute ongoing with Trent Williams, you do have Brock Purdy, you do have Deebo Samuel, you do have George Kittle, and you do have Christian McCaffrey. So Christian, hopefully, knock on wood, Trent Williams returns. Hopefully they can get him a contract. If not, the 49ers are going to rely heavily on McCaffrey in this game, because when McCaffrey gets going, everybody gets going. And as for the New York Jets, Aaron Rodgers, I talked about him earlier. This is a make-or-break year for him. This is a make-or-break year for the Jets. They have to get it done when you're playing in New York. You cannot half step. You have to be on point at all times. And I'll just be the first to say the Jets are going to have to the Jets are going to have to be on point Week 1 going up against that defense when you've got a Nick Bosa, and you've got a Leonard Floyd, and you've got a Fred Warner to get it done. And again, Aaron did not play in the preseason, due to interesting circumstances. I won't get into that, but nevertheless, Aaron Rodgers, I know he's going to be ready. You got Alan Lazard, you got Mike Williams, and also the Jets, they've retooled the offensive line, particularly to protect Aaron's blind side, and we'll see how it all plays out. But I think this is good. It's going to be a rocking crowd out in the Bay Area, in Santa Clara to be exact, for Monday Night Football between the New York Jets and the San Francisco 49ers. All right, now it's time for my game of the week. My game of the week is going to be the New York Jets versus the San Francisco 49ers. The NFL has been a quarterbacks league for several decades now, and we love watching our favorite teams play. We love watching our favorite players play, and we love watching quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers is one of those quarterbacks that not only do I love watching play, but a lot of people love watching love watching him play. Aaron Rodgers is a future first ballot Hall of Famer. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The fever pitch was extraordinary for last year's opener against the Buffalo Bills on Monday night. Several plays into the game, we know what happened. Rodgers suffers his Achilles, tears his Achilles, done for the year. So we sat through Zach Wilson. God bless Zach. We wish him all the best with the Denver Broncos. But if Aaron Rodgers, listen, say what you want about him with all, the political views, social things, I get that. That's his prerogative. But Aaron fought hard to be ready for week one. And guess what? He will be ready for week one against the San Francisco 49ers. Did not play in the preseason. However, the Jets did help him get better on the offensive line side. They helped him not only to get linemen to protect his blind side, but also just to protect him as a whole. The receiver side, you got Alan Lazard. That was his teammate in Green Bay. Also, Mike Williams, he's coming back. And then you've also got, Mike Williams has joined the team from the Los Angeles Chargers. Garrett Wilson is coming back. And then you've got Tyler Conklin as your tight end. So this is going to be huge, not just for Aaron, but for the Jets as well, because there's a lot riding on this, because the Super Bowl aspirations are very high for the Jets since Rodgers has arrived in New York. So while the aspirations are high for the Jets, the aspirations are even higher for the 49ers. Trent Williams, still no contract. We don't know when he's going to show up. Will he play Monday night? Maybe. We'll see. Bottom line is this. The 49ers fell short in the big game in overtime to the Kansas City Chiefs last year, and this is a statement game for them. They had their troubles during the offseason with the whole Trent Williams situation, Brandon Ayuk finally getting the brand new contract, but you've got Brock Purdy, you've got Deebo Samuel, you've got George Kittle, and you've got Christian McCaffrey. When McCaffrey gets going, that's when the 49ers offense really gets going. When McCaffrey can run the ball, Purdy is able to make plays and get passes to Ayuk and Deebo and Kittle and so on and so forth. We know about the 49ers and what they've done the last several years. They've been consistent, but they've fallen short getting the goals. They've fallen short in the big game as well as big games as well. But this year is make or break for the 49ers, not just for the New York Jets. And there's so many storylines riding on this. I think the big storyline is going to come down to, again, the quarterbacks. Brock Purdy going up against Aaron Rodgers. If you know about Aaron's story, Aaron grew up in Northern California, grew up near the Bay Area, a diehard 49ers fan, wanted to play for the Niners, wasn't drafted. You know how that goes. Wound up going to Green Bay. coming back home would love nothing more than to get a victory. And certainly this is a lot of storylines, not just with Aaron Rodgers and not just with the New York Jets, but even with the 49ers as well. There's a lot riding on this game, and it's going to be exciting, and it's going to be great Monday night with the New York Jets and the San Francisco 49ers, my game of the week. All right, now it's time for my picks on who I think will win Week 1's games. Monday Night Football, the New York Jets going up against the San Francisco 49ers. I think this is going to be a really good game, but I like the New York Jets to beat the 49ers. So again, my picks are the New York Jets. That's it. And that's going to do it for another exciting edition of the program. Thank you so much again for joining me. And until next time, everybody, I'm Ed Robinson saying so long, and you take care. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into the channel. Remember to click like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching.